So I did a quick Google search on just Dani Lalonders, who is involved to some degree in the new Black Panther game that's being developed, and who thinks that you can't be racist toward white people, Nigerian American, non-binary woman who gives a fuck. I like how you spend so much time saying, like, in terms of percentages, like this like little introduction. Hi, my name is Dani Lalonders. So that's your name. Okay, that's identity. I am Nigerian American, identity. Non-binary, identity. Woman, identity. They, she, identity. Based in Chicago, Illinois. Your name is enough, dude. The only reason that we would need to know all that other shit about you is if we wanted to know whether or not you're going to be a pain in the ass. I have a few years of experience in gaming, writing, community organizing, and sensitivity reading. Of course you do. I am currently a full-time producer for my first official game, Validate. This game's artwork looks fucking terrible. Highly uninteresting, I think is the way I would probably describe this art. This, I'm sure it's a human, has hairy arms and a mustache, it seems, and, you know, is otherwise feminine in some way.
Whatever.
Anyway, let's watch some of this shit.
Developing a video game isn't easy. Now, it sounds like common sense, but there are a lot of keyboard warriors who would lead you to believe otherwise.
Liar! Everyone pretty much agrees that making games is hard.
Between just design, funding, and building your team, you still have to find time to be a human. Our next speaker is going to share with us what all of that looked like after 1 year in the industry. Dani Lalonders is a producer and narrative designer. Dani has always gravitated to video games, but the severe lack of Black playable female characters is what influenced her to start video game development.
Okay, so she got into video game development because she wanted to make more Black female characters that you could play as. So right off the bat, we already know she's racist. I don't think I've ever played a game where I gave a fuck what the protagonist's race was. It's video games, so you get all kinds of different shit. When you get into like a creative medium, like an entertainment medium, you really should know the value of entertainment, and that should be your primary concern. Look at this guy's face.
It's time to see what 1 year in the industry looked like for Dani.
Dani Lalonders, she, they. There you go. That's the most important shit right there. Oh, she, they. Okay, now, okay, I know her pronouns now, guys. For a second there, I thought he wasn't going to say.
1 year in the industry. I really cannot believe it's been 1 year. It's like just yesterday when I launched my first game and just got the attention of everyone. So to start, let's introduce me. My name is Dani Lalonders.
We already introduced you, Dani. We know your name. We know your idiot pronouns. And that means I also know that you are extremely self-centered. You think you're extremely special, and people like that are generally quite arrogant. You're already front-loading us with information about you that isn't positive information. We all think you're going to be a pain in the ass. Okay, but we're still in introduction, so whatever. Let's just keep going.
I'm the head developer of Validate Struggling Singles in Your Area. I am also a writer on Spirit Swap.
I mean, is this the most professional image that you have of yourself? Dani Lalonders, she, they, head developer of Validate Game and writer on Spirit Swap. Non-binary MILF in training? How is that relevant information? Is this literally a dating application of some kind?
So I'm a non-binary MILF in training, and I've been in the industry for 1 year. That being said, I'm talking from my own experience.
None of what you said just now suggests that you wouldn't be talking from your own experience.
I'm not talking generally. I am talking about me. I launched Validate in February of 2020. It was a project between me and a bunch of my friends. We weren't really expecting it to blow up the way it did.
Did it blow up? The title was officially announced in early 2020. A Kickstarter campaign was launched, $47,000. It was funded in part by @Xbox Developer Acceleration Program, which seeks to empower underrepresented creators. Yeah, okay, so you got some pity money. So was the entire budget $47,000? One of the best games you might have missed during Summer Game Fest by GameSpot.
Gay!
How much money did it make? Quick stats, gross revenue $34,000, so they lost money. Active players, one active player 66 minutes ago. 2 active players, 24-hour peak. This game has 2 active players? What? Are these live numbers? Yeah, so their budget was $47,000 and they only made $34,000. But it was free money, so, I mean...
Whatever.
Yeah, so this game did fucking terrible.
People wanted our game.
Oh, really? The player retention is literally 2 people. You didn't even make back your Kickstarter money, dude. It's actually 2 people.
People wanted our game.
It's $15. The reviews are mostly negative. Even if I was interested in this type of game, like if you just look at the imagery, it's just like, okay, this is for a very specific type of human being. 33% of the 12 user reviews, 12.
We weren't really expecting it to blow up the way it did.
68 user reviews are mixed. Yeah, 68, 12. This isn't a game that blew up. Okay, this is a game that very much blew down.
That is really crazy because a lot of people don't really have that success when it comes to their games. I think I just got lucky.
You didn't get lucky. Your game failed. It was a failure of a game.
People knew who I was, and people also knew people on the team.
She was well known.
People know me.
Originally, first, our main fans were like our friends of friends or our friends. And then it kind of expanded way past that to friends of friends of friends, random people, people in the industry. It was really crazy.
Yeah, being a celebrity is really crazy. It's just your friends and their friends and then their friend, like friends of friends. Oh, man. Yeah, it's tough being a celeb.
Looking back at it, I wish I kind of knew how to do this before I actually went into it because there is not a lot of guides of how to get started with your games. And the guides that do exist are very white-centric. And I'm going to say that because I'm not afraid anymore.
She just said the quiet part out loud. So she's saying, I'm going to say this right now. I'm going to say all the racist shit that I think all the time. I'm going to say it out loud because now
I'm not afraid anymore.
All these people who think the same way as me are saying this kind of shit and they're totally getting away with it. So now I feel empowered to say it too. This was like really during the height of the woke movement. This is when all of the crazy racist pieces of shit sort of like floated to the top and began to really have a presence on the internet.
And the guys that do exist are very white-centric.
How can a guide about starting the development of a game be white-centric?
I am clearly not a white person.
That's true. She's right about that, guys. I mean, you kind of led with that, so you don't really need to say it, but whatever, it's fine.
I'm a Black non-binary woman. So it was pretty difficult for me because a lot of people did not take me seriously when I first joined the industry.
Nobody gave a fuck. All that is you. No one else cared about it but you.
Which I think is kind of crazy because I'm making a game just like everyone else, so why wouldn't you take me seriously?
And I think it's probably not so much that they're not taking you seriously and more that they just don't want to work with you because you're clearly going to be a gigantic pain in the ass. Anybody who leads with, I'm a Black non-binary woman of color and I have they, them, she, her pronouns. And okay, all right, cool, dude, cool, all right, cool. Nobody like you thinks about, like maybe he was, I don't know, like I'm not being taken seriously. What am I doing wrong? All of the people who are like you should think that, but none of you do.
Like, is it because I'm Black? I mean, it probably is, but like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, it kind of sucks that like, it kind of sucks that people.
This is what happens when you just let somebody like this just talk. This is not an interview. The guy just like points a camera at her, turns it on, and fucking leaves the room, and she's just like the entire fucking time.
If a white man may validate, it would be fucking everywhere. That game would be everywhere.
Nuh-uh. If Todd Howard, which is the whitest person I can think of, made Validate, if Jesus Christ came down from heaven and made this crappy game, it would have been a failure because it's a shit idea whose target audience is about this big, which is part of the reason that it's a shit idea. People who are struggling to date, like big hairy armed fucking man ladies, this is not going to do well with anyone. You probably know more people in your personal life than would be interested in this game.
I'm very important.
Who is your team? I have a team of 21. It is a crazy big team for indie games. But Validate has a team of mostly all people of color. We have no white people on our team. I did that because I wanted to create a safe environment. And I know the best way.
She wanted to make a safe environment, so she didn't hire any white people. Kind of seems a little racist.
And I know the best way for an environment to be safe is to be around people who are just like me. And I'm not saying that white people in the industry are creating unsafe environments. I'm not saying that. That is not what I'm saying. I am saying that sometimes it is hard to work with white people because they think that something may be okay, but it was really a microaggression. And no one wants to deal with that while you're trying to.
Microaggressions aren't real. A microaggression is something that a person says that you take offense to for no good reason.
What does your team represent? Is your team all men? What does that represent about your game? If you're making a game about teenage girls, why is your team all men?
Well, maybe some of those men are coders, artists, sound engineers, and this is going to blow your tiny little mind, writers. You don't actually have to be a girl to write a girl, nor do you have to be a man to write a man. It happens all the time. Anne Rice writes almost exclusively male characters. She doesn't do it very well. Robert Jordan is one of my favorite authors, and his female characters are all spot on. You can write female characters as a male. It is possible. You just have to get into the mindset. This is why not just anyone can do it. You have to have talent. You have to actually have like a creative mind. And this is the point. Creativity makes up for the fact that you're not what your character is. It's like, how many fantasy novels were written by people who were not actual elves or dwarves?
Give me the meat.
Or fucking dragons or horses, whatever. Like, you don't have to be the thing that you're writing. You fucking dumbass. This is your brain. This image is what's going on in your, like, this is like how I picture your brain if it had a face.
How will you divide up the work? How will you divide up the money? Those are things you have to think about.
Most of the shit that she's been saying is either just flat out racist or it just falls into the duh category. You have to figure out finances. You're gonna end up having to choose a team. You're gonna need more than just you working on this game. I know. Thank you very much, Captain Obvious.
When I was creating Validate, I did not have that in my mind.
Wait. When you were working on the game, you didn't think about how you were going to get the game done? You didn't think about money, scheduling, choosing the right people for your team? You didn't think about that stuff when you were making this game?
I just never had a plan.
What a fucking surprise.
And I wish I had a time machine so I can go back in time to when we were playing our Kickstarter, because I severely underfunded us. And that technically wasn't my fault.
Well, of course not. Why would you take responsibility for anything you did?
Because I didn't really have the experience, and I didn't have anyone telling me, you guys are lowballing yourself. You need to raise your goals so you can get more money for you and your team.
That would still be your fault.
$16,000 for 21 people is not enough money to fully fund the game.
Yeah, it's almost like you should have had a smaller team.
People keep on lying and saying that oh, you only need $20,000 to fund the game.
Maybe for this game, dude, the game that you made looks like a game that could have been made by one person.
Because that money is going towards not just paying your team, legal fees, engines, copyright, etc. Buying a Unity license is $1,000 per person. It's a lot of money.
Okay, well, that's a good reason not to have 20 people on your team. Didn't she say she had 20 people?
I have a team of 21. Buying a Unity license is $1,000 per person.
If you need to spend $1,000 per person, that's $20,000 right there, dude. Yeah, this is why you plan stuff before you do it.
A lot of publishers don't understand that visual novels cost a lot of money because our big focus is art. Our art budget is our biggest budget on the team.
Your art budget for this was the biggest budget. I mean, I guess you had to have a specialist, somebody who knows how to draw male bodies with a female head. That would be kind of hard.
How will your work be divided by your team? For Validate, like I previously said, we did our stuff in phases. Like I know our writers are going to be wrapping up with writing by like September. So from September to the game release, they're not really doing any work.
Right. So you pay them for the writing portion. And then if you need them to come in and write something else later, you have them come in and you pay them hourly. How hard is that? Is that hard?
So like you will have people on your team being idle, not really doing any work.
No. See, that's your problem. That's your fault. If you have team members who are idle and not doing any work and getting paid still, that's like really bad plan. Well, you know, it's on theme.
But remember, you have to make sure that whatever plan that you're going with will ensure that your game gets released.
Oh, I'm glad she said something because I was going to make a game and just plan for it not to get released. Oh, man. Oh.
I remember a tweet from one of my mutuals said, "It is a miracle that any game comes out." And they're right.
Nuh-uh. Nope. Not even at all. Nope. You could say it's hard to make a game, but that's it.
There are so many things that happen in the production that you're just like, oh my God.
You couldn't handle it, but there are lots and lots of people out there who could totally handle it, and the game you made was basic as fuck. Wait, despite all the positive press and support for our game, we could not find a publisher who would take our game. The positive press? What positive press? Can we get some fucking receipts up in this bitch? We searched from July 2020 to March of 2021 to find a publisher for our game and give us the rest of our funding to complete Validate. So you squandered the funding that you got from the Kickstarter, and you wanted somebody else to, you not only to take on the game, to like publish it and put it out there, but you also wanted somebody to give you money to complete the game. Yeah, that's a hard sell. Like you're marketing it to this little tiny niche crowd, and it's a dating sim, so it's another niche crowd within a niche crowd. Like what the fuck did you expect?
And it really showed me that you can have this killer concept.
What?
That everyone loves.
You're delusional, dude. You are delusional.
I think our budget was a little too intimidating. We were asking for about like $400,000 to fully fund our game.
You were asking for $500,000?
And honestly, I can't wait to change the industry with this game.
If you want to talk about it, that's fine. But if you don't, that's also fine. This is incredible writing. No one ever taught you how to laugh?
And don't forget deodorant. It's time to mingle with...
I don't think we know each other well enough for you to be the arbiter of my feet.
I can't wait to change the industry with this game.
I guess it's good to have enthusiasm.
I want to see games with more diverse storylines. I want to see games from more diverse teams.
And that is why you fail, because you don't care about the storytelling or the mechanics or like the quality of the game itself. You care about representation. Representation is like the least interesting thing that you could possibly have. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what else to say. She's egotistical. She's up her own ass. She's high on her own supply. She also earlier she said that getting investors is really hard because she's black and racism, but she did a GoFundMe. Guys, thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. I know like everybody says that, but I really mean it when I say it. I also stream, so I stream on Twitch. That's twitch.tv/thegodkiller_. All my links are in the description, so if you want to follow me anywhere, please do. It all helps me be visible on the internet. And otherwise, I guess I'll see you on the next one, guys. Peace.